Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel here on the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We move into the month of December 1984, and we do that in a way to close out the year. There are a lot of cool things to finish with December, and 1985 shaping up really well as well. The entire run from 82 through now is available in our archive, so check that out. Also, we will be doing other promotions in the same week by week unload fashion. Not sure where we're going next. Might go back to Smoky Mountain. Not sure. Anyway, we open with the Missing Link versus Buck Zumhofe to open us up on the 1st of December here. Zumhofe obviously not a favorite of mine. That's been made clear. Missing Link still, I would say, is a mid-card, upper mid-card bit player. Link takes a lot of good bumps. He's also very exaggerated with his selling, which is cool. You don't see him sell very much because usually he is kind of in a situation where he's, for lack of a better term, always on the offense. Here with Buck Zumhofe, he is kind of doing more selling than average. We do see him, hit some headbutts and whatever, but not before Zumhofe nails him with a bunch of drop kicks and a lot of high flying moves in that for that 1984 time frame anyway. Obviously, Link with Skandor Akbar, and I think that's a good fit. Link does get the win with the running headbutt for the victory here again, and Akbar happy with that. Obviously, as we move into 1985, it should be noted that Link does continue at least through the beginning of the year. Then we move into what is a very, I guess you'd say, brutal match, almost a Texas Death style match. Killer Khan and Terry Gordy, the Freebirds left in the area. Say it's brutal because there's a lot of blood in the match, which is very uncommon for this area at this time. I think it's the maybe fourth or fifth time in the 2-year run that I've seen blood. Khan and Gordy, of course, coming together because of the Japanese connection between the two, and Gordy gets busted open relatively early, I'd say maybe 5 minutes into the match, and he is bleeding blood everywhere. Obviously, he's not going to bleed grape juice, but anyway, Kerry Von Erich is your main official, or the official for the match. Not quite sure how that came together. I think that's kind of a last-minute thing, but anyway, Gordy brings Khan over. Khan betrays him. Gordy not happy with this, obviously, and Gordy does get posted on the outside. That leads to the blood. I mean, Gordy is gushing all over the place at a point here. And obviously Khan betrays him by joining up with Akbar. Gordy's head and chest completely blood-drenched. If you are watching this with children, not that you would be, but if you are, you might want to censor that. Sidewalk slam / backbreaker by Khan. Khan also goes to the second rope on the inside to get himself a knee drop and executes that pretty well. There is the need for a 3 count and then the count of 10. Kerry Von Erich actually has to hold Khan off. They almost go at it in the middle of things here, and then the standing 10 count is the way things go. Akbar comes in and is pretty sure his man's gonna win, but that does not happen. Gordy makes his way back to his feet quicker than the 10 count would indicate, and Gordy sends Khan to the outside. Fans obviously behind Gordy more as the tough guy veteran who's been around the area as a guy who has earned their respect, for lack of a better term, through being there for a couple of basically almost 2 years he's been around the area. So in 2 years you gain a lot. You gain a lot of respect. You gain a lot of acclaim. And I think the base turn of the Freebirds was, I think, underdone, actually. I think there would have been some merchandise in there that they could have gone further with, but having the Von Erichs, they couldn't. By this point, Khan has some blood on him. I think it's Gordy's, but he might have bled a bit to himself here. Certainly a ending to a match. Akbar makes his way in to try and get Khan back up. Yeah, Khan is busted open, and the continuance of the match. Gordy will nail you with anything, including just hard fists. Not a lot of weapon shots in the match. They don't really need it, but that's because Gordy's just such a hard shooter and hard shot. And we then see an attempted double pin that doesn't really go too far. And so then we see things going. Um, Attempted pin by Gordy that doesn't go very far. They do give this a good 15-ish minutes, which for that time span here is a big deal. Gordy eventually does get your victory, which is to be expected. Also, Missing Link comes in to try to beat down Gordy post his win. That does not happen as Kerry Von Erich gets involved in that. Gordy does try, or Von Erich does try to respectfully shake hands with Gordy. That eventually does occur. Then we move into a new interesting development here in World Class, and that is Sunshine. She has a new charge, and the new charge ends up being Billy Jack Haynes of the Pacific Northwest, or Billy Haynes. He changes his name to Billy Haynes, removing Jack from the name. He actually is pushed pretty hard in the weeks and months to come here, but they don't really talk a great deal about what their relationship is. Just that she was there for him. He mentions in a later interview that she was there for him when others wouldn't be, and so there's kind of that. Then we've got Gino Hernandez up next in a match with Mike Von Erich, and that is to be expected. They've feuded across the American title and other things for quite a while. Once again, Hernandez just bumps all around. An amazing talent. A guy that you can't help but like. Von Erich, pulls the man back in and is much better than I've heard critics talk about how bad Mike Von Erich is. I don't see him as a bad talent. I just see him as a guy who wasn't ready for the role he was in, but he wasn't bad at all. Float over suplex by Hernandez. Hernandez then goes for that big top rope back elbow and misses that. I mean, he lays out for that for sure. Von Erich then goes completely back on the offense, and we then see a choke hold by Nicola Roberts on the outside. She gets knee bunched off the apron. This is after the referee has gone down. We see again the comeback. Von Erich gains the comeback. The referee is down, and there's a shoving match post-match between the official, as it is stated that Mike Von Erich has won, but Gino not buying any of that. And then they continue to go at it as the referees can't necessarily come to a concrete decision here. Dropkick sends Gino to the floor, and needless to say, Mike Von Erich is deemed the official winner, but not due to any happiness from anybody else. Iceman King Parsons up next, and he is tagging with Kerry Von Erich, the former world champion, against the unlikely trio of the unlikely duo rather of Kelly Kiniski and Jake Roberts. Unlikely just because, doesn't seem like the type of team you'd normally see. Cool to see Roberts and Von Erich in the same ring at the same time. Kind of one of those dream matches I didn't know I wanted to see until I saw it. It wasn't exactly the outstanding thing I expected it to see. The friendship between Von Erich and Iceman has continued for multiple years here. I am waiting eagerly with the heel turn of Iceman King Parsons. Don't know when it's coming, but know it has to. Backbreaker and a near fall from Kelly Kiniski. Kiniski and Roberts, once again, a very odd pairing. Von Erich, literally, less than 6 months? Removed from his world championship run, and it shows. He's still probably the most over guy in Texas. I don't know that David wasn't more over than he was. Carey on the outside, waiting for Iceman to make the tag. Iceman tries to clean house. Roberts is just phenomenal. I still say Jake Roberts is in one of my top 5 guys of all time. Just because every movement matters, and he encourages a guy like Kiniski to improve his approach. And Iceman Parsons makes his way back to his feet. The majority of the match actually is Kiniski and Parsons, which strikes me as odd, but maybe they're trying to save Roberts and Von Erich in some way. Maybe they're trying to save the two. But anyway, we've got there's a backdrop of Parsons over the top rope. The referee doesn't call it, so he must not have been the legal man when it happens. Kerry Von Erich cleans house on both of his adversaries, and him going toe-to-toe with Jake Roberts is cool. Parsons comes back in, hits the outside-in sunset flip, pins Kiniski for the win, and that will close the December 1st edition. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.